In today's tutorial video, we're going to be making a flipbook effect. Flipbook effects are most commonly used by visual effects artists, and they're applied to particles. One of the challenges of making a video game is that everything has to be rendered in 33 milliseconds if you want a 30 frames per second game, or 16 milliseconds if you want your game to run at 60 frames a second. And that means there's very little time to do any complicated calculations. And so what visual effects artists often do when there's an effect that requires a lot of detail is they'll create that effect offline and render the effect out into individual frames. And then they'll arrange the frames on a texture, and then they'll play back the frames and apply that texture to a particle. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a texture for an explosion, and you can see that the frames have been laid out in a 6x6 grid. So there's 6 frames across and 6 frames down. 36 frames total. And it starts with just a teeny explosion. The explosion grows really big, and then it kind of fades out at the end. So in order to display this, we have to create a shader that shows one frame at a time. In our previous video, we showed a shader that could scale and scroll UVs. But what we want to do now is make our UVs jump from one frame to the next and stay on that frame and then jump to the next frame. So that's what we're going to do now. So let's start out with just our simple texture sample, and here we have our texture coordinates plugged right into our texture sample, and so all we get is our texture as it is. So we need to make some adjustments so that our UVs will read each of the frames in the atlas. And it's really handy in the Unreal Material Editor because there's a node called Flipbook built right in. And this node is designed to do exactly what we're trying to do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my texture coordinates and I'm going to plug those into the UV socket of the Flipbook node. And now I need time. So I'm going to pull up a time node. And I need a multiply. So I'm going to multiply time by some value, constant. And in this case, I know that this particular flipbook plays back at 24 frames a second. And if I don't multiply time, actually, let's just start off by wiring time directly into my animation phase, and we'll take a look at what that looks like. And then the last thing that I need is the number of rows and the number of columns. So if I look over here, I have 6 rows and I have 6 columns. So I'm going to make another constant node. And I'm going to give it a value of 6. And I'm going to wire that into the number of rows and the number of columns. Okay, now these are my so my texture coordinates are coming into the flipbook. And then this flipbook node does all of the processing and gives me texture coordinates out as a result. So let's see what happens. So there I have a pretty nice explosion going on. You can see that it's playing back each of the frames individually, and it looks pretty cool. However, I happen to know that this effect is supposed to be played back at 24 frames a second. And right now, since I have time plugged directly into my animation phase, it's playing back at 30 frames a second. And so what I need to do is multiply my time by a value of 0.8. And now, since 24 is 80% of 30, I'm playing back my explosion at the right frame rate. Okay, so that was pretty simple. Pretty much I've got a node built into Unreal that does all that for me. So if that's all you want to do, you just want to create a flipbook and go your merry way, you're welcome to jump from here into the next video. However, what I really want to do, and I hope you'll stick around, is I want to create a shader that does this flipbook effect without using this flipbook node. And the reason that's important is for two reasons, actually. You'll understand what's going on inside this flipbook node, and if you ever need to alter the effect or do something slightly different, or you come up with a way of doing it more efficiently, then it's a lot easier to adjust to the shader if you're creating it yourself rather than relying on the flipbook node that Unreal gives you. Alright, so now we're going to take a little bit deeper dive. So I'm just going to disconnect this part of the shader, and I'm going to move it down here just so it's out of the way while we build our new flipbook effect from scratch. Okay, so we're going to start out with our texture and our texture coordinates. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to scale our texture down so that our UV coordinates are just showing us one single frame. And if you'll remember in the last video, scaling UVs is done with a multiply. So I'm going to put down a multiply node. And I'm going to multiply my texture coordinates by a constant vec2. Now this is the value that I'm going to use here. Here I used a 6 and I plugged it into the number of rows and the number of columns. But here I'm going to use a vec2 with a 6 and a 6. And I'm going to use this node to represent my number of rows and my number of columns. And now I'm going to multiply, or I'm going to divide that by 1. So 1 over the number of rows and the number of columns. 1 divided by 6 times my UV coordinates, and that is going to give me just the first frame of my animation. Alright, so I've successfully scaled down my UV coordinates, and now what I want to do is adjust my UVs so that they slowly jump from one frame to the next. There's one node that I forgot, and it's right here. It's called a frac. And what this node does is it returns the decimal portion of a value. If I have, for example, if I give this node a value of 3.58, it will return a value of 0.58. So it's going to throw out whatever's on the left side of the decimal and just give me what's on the right side of the decimal. So this prevents my values from ever going above 1. Any value above 1 will get rid of the 1 and just give me the decimal portion. And I'm going to plug that node in here because I know that I always want my texture coordinates to be between 0 and 1. Alright, great. Now, the next thing that I need to do is introduce the element of time. So I need to be scrolling my texture coordinates, and that means I need to, just like in the previous video, I need to add to my texture coordinates. So I'm going to put down a time node. And in this case, I'm going to make my time only go between a period of 0 and 1.5. What this means is time will continuously increase and go up and up and up. But in this case, this time node will only go up to 1.5, and then it'll loop back on itself and go back to 0. So I'm going to multiply that by the frame rate that I want. So I'm going to add another constant node. And to begin with, I'm going to make my frame rate really slow. So let's just say like 4 frames a second multiplied by my time. And then I'm going to add this to my texture coordinates. So here's my time multiplied by my frame rate and added to my texture coordinates. And then I'm going to plug this in here and let's see what we get. Alright, something's not right. You can see that my texture is moving, but it's just kind of scrolling diagonally. And so what I need to do is figure out a way of making it stay on a frame and then jump to the next frame. And in order to do that, I need to add a new node, and I've got it right here. It's called floor. And what this node does is it rounds down to the nearest whole number. And so where time is moving along linearly upwards, this turns my time into something that's more like stair steps. So it stays at 0 until I get to 1, and then it jumps to 1. And then it stays at 1 until I get to 2, and then it jumps to 2. So let's use our floor node. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time multiplied by my frame rate, and I'm going to plug that into floor, and then I'm going to plug that into my add, and let's see what happens now. Alright, cool. You can see that now I'm actually displaying frames. However, there is a bit of a problem, and that is I'm only showing the frames that go in a diagonal descending line. So if I go back here to my texture, I'm just showing this frame, and then 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 this frame, sort of. So I'm going diagonally. Instead, what I want to do is go across, and once I get to the number of columns, I want to jump down. I want to continually go across, but I only want to go down when I get to the number of columns. And so, in order to do that, I need to use this little guy right here that has my number of rows and my number of columns. So I'm going to add a mask node. And what this node is going to allow me to do is just pick one of these two values. So I'm going to connect up my mask node here, and instead of masking R and G, I'm just going to mask R. So I'm just picking my the first value here out of the two. And now I'm going to add a divide. Whoops. And I'm going to take my time and divide it by 6. See how that's working? And then I'm going to floor that. And so what this does is every time my time gets to a value of 6, then it's going to jump. And that will be for jumping from one row to the next. And now I'm going to add an append. And I'm going to append this value into B. And I'm going to append this value into A. So the A value here controls going across the columns, and the B value here controls jumping down the rows. So I only jump every 6th time, but I go across every time. I hope you can see how that's working. And now I'm going to take this value and add it to my texture coordinates. And let's see what happens. Okay, so it looks like it's working correctly. The only thing that I need to change now is I need to set my frame rate, and I want it to go 24 frames a second. Let's take a look at what we get. Okay, so we've got our explosion going on here, and it's playing back all the frames. So again, let's go through this. We've got our time, and it's floored. And so this is going to give us our stair step thing, and we use that value for advancing across our row. Then when we want to jump down to the next row, we use this So we're dividing our time by 6 and then flooring that. Then we put those together, and this part gets added to the U coordinate, and this part gets added to the V coordinate. So I'm marching across the rows, and then I jump down to the next row. So pretty cool. You can use this for all kinds of neat effects. Explosions, freezing effects, something that you're going to apply to a particle, or if you have a live television in your game and you want the screen to be animated, all kinds of things you can do with flipbook effects. And like I said, you can either use Unreal's built-in node, or you can actually use the math and create the nodes yourself. And the advantage of doing it this way is it's a little bit quicker, and the advantage of doing it this way is that it's more flexible. So if there are changes that you need to make, you can do whatever you need to with these nodes, whereas this one, you're just kind of stuck with what they give you. Okay, that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoy it. I've got more tutorials planned, so subscribe if you like this kind of content, and I'll see you in the next video.